Hi everyone, this is Nick from Avengers Gaming, and today we're going to look at the up-and-coming Avengers game, which is going to be releasing on PC, PS4 and Xbox One, and also the new generation of consoles. So first, this little disclaimer, here is that I absolutely love live service games and MMOs. I've put years and years of gameplay into World of Warcraft. From then on, I've played Division 1, Destiny 1 up for a very long time, Destiny 2, Division 2. So those are just some I can remember off the top of my head, but to put it this way, I love live service games. And the idea for my channel going forward was I was going to cover this game in detail. Now, I also really love Avengers. Like, I'm a huge Avengers fan. I got the DVD collector's edition, got the posters, I got to read the comic books. So I'm a huge fan of Avengers in general. So like this game I was really excited for and really pumped up. It's got everything I want. Live service games, grinding, loot, playing with friends, and it's an Avengers game. So for me, this was like kind of an ideal thing. Now, after watching a few reviews, actually wasn't going to do even the review in the beta, but watched a lot of reviews and people's opinions, and it was very negative. And I feel like everybody jumped immediately on that negative bandwagon. And what I want to see and kind of look at it from this perspective and say, is there any hope here? Is there anything in this game that's kind of, warrant buying it, or, is this worth it, or all the other reviewers right? Now I want to split it up into a few kind of sections. Firstly, gameplay is really good. Like, it's nothing out of this world, but it's a smash 'em up, beat 'em up. It's fun. It's like a Arkham Asylum, Spider-Man type of gameplay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I really enjoyed the gameplay. It was actually a lot of fun. Now, when it comes to graphics, the game also, it looks great. Technically, for me, I'll play this on PC. I know there was a lot of instability on other platforms, but on PC, this game was running for me personally at 60 frames per second the whole time, quite smoothly. So I had no issues there. Now, when it comes to, and single player story, looks fun, there's potential here. I feel like if this was a single player game, there's potential. There's a lot of room for expanding the story of the Avengers. There's so many stories, you can add new villains and so on and so on. So when it comes to the actual single player story, I feel there's potential here. The gameplay is good, the characters look good, and the story seems actually quite intriguing and interesting. And this is where I feel like I differ from the other reviewers, where I find like there is potential when it comes to that. However, I think the biggest issue here is it's a live service game. Now I want to look at it from that perspective. Now, as a live service game or MMO, call it whatever you want to call it, there is the biggest issue for me personally. So it's not the gameplay, it's not the missions, because you will be doing grinding. Any live service game, I don't care, play Destiny, play World of Warcraft, any game, any MMO you've ever played, Elder Scrolls Online, there's grinding. And that's the whole point of these games, is to grind, doing the same missions over and over for better loot. And there lies the problem. Loot. I think this is the single worst thing about this game, is that the loot is just terrible. If you look at it now, I'm in Hulk, and your loot doesn't change how you look. Now, to me, this is the most bizarre thing. It's just a stat sheet. It's the most bizarre thing ever. Why the hell would I grind for all this powerful loot, kill myself, do these, hopefully, raids or whatever they are in future in this game? For what? My character looks the same. It makes no sense. Everybody knows MMOs, RPGs, and these kind of games are driven by loot. So why am I grinding and killing myself so I can look like everybody else? Because the only way to change the way you look is with costumes. And yeah, I'm sorry, that's dumb. So everybody's gonna have, you'll have people running around with the exact same costumes as you all the time, and you don't know if they bought it or they earned it by gameplay, because there is a lot of microtransactions here. And this is where I agree with other reviews, and this is where this game gets completely ruined for me, and why I personally recommend not to touch it. It is riddled with microtransactions. I was the most excited person about this game. I still wanted to play it, from a single player perspective, but it's just lunacy. Like, who is going to... And I'm sure people will buy it, but it almost feels like a mobile game. If you have a Virgin Mobile account or whatever, you will get better skins. I mean, it's terrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Monetization that probably one of the worst I've ever seen. And it's such a shame, because there is potential here at the end of the day. You know, the game does play like fun. It's a cool beat 'em up comic book hero game. All your favorite characters are there. The story seems cool, looks interesting. I'm curious to what happens and what's going on. And you go on up and make it a live service monetization game and ruin it. Nothing wrong with live service games, but when you monetize the game this much, I don't think there's any hope here. And I'm sad to say this, that at the end of it, I do agree with other reviewers, and it's just you would be making a huge mistake buying this game. It is Anthem all over again, and not from technical difficulties and stuff like that, simply from money grabbing scheme. It's terrible. And the biggest fact, exclude the monetization, fine, let's take that out of the picture. The biggest problem is you cannot have a loot driven game and the loot does not change the appearance of your character. That's the whole point, is to look cooler, to show off your gear to other players, and they're like, oh wow, that's awesome. Trying to mix and match gear, do transmog, change how your character looks like. That's what I was excited about. I want to have my own unique tour, but no, you can't do this here. And that, specifically that, is the biggest issue around this game. It's nothing else. That ruins the game 100%. Yes, there's other little issues, whatever, all can be looked over. That completely ruins the game. There's monetization in all live service games, all of them. But yeah, Destiny's got it. But Destiny, I can see my loot, I can see the cool weapons I'm getting or cool armor I'm getting. Here you don't, and that's for me the biggest ruin of the game. And I feel like I'm rambling on about the same thing. Loot, people. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I really wanted to be hopeful over this game. It kind of have a different opinion with everybody else, and unfortunately ended up being the same as everybody else's. The game is just unfortunately not worth it. It really isn't, and it's a shame, because yes, there's potential here, but the fundamental system when it comes to gear system is wrong, plain and simple. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be releasing a roll of new videos, and I am looking for a live service game that I can cover, but so far nothing's really drawn my interest. Oh, I thought it was going to be this, but Outriders look good. Look out for that video, as I want to try get my hands on that game.